You know, one thing I love about Kenyans is that Kenyans are normally very much observant. Wakenya huwa wana observe vitu sana. So, today William Ruto, hii mambo ya sijui mambo na vision 2030, 2060 yenye na engagement yenye William Ruto alikuwa nayo KICC, there is something that Kenyans spotted. And of course, Kenyans reacted very fast. Kenyans spotted Bishop Mark Kariuki akiwa huko, and just part of our video, because there are a lot of things that we're going to talk about. This is what some of the Kenyans were saying, that ni kama ndoto ama naona Bishop Mark hata huku anapatikana. So that is a question, that anapatikana huko. Somebody is saying that bishops wakora ndio hao. Bishop Watumbo, Mark Kariuki, my Bishop Mark Kariuki ako area. So Kenyans were asking, I think Kenyans were trying to ask, why is Bishop Mark Kariuki also involving himself in these matters? Because, you know, he's a bishop, and we know his relationship. Of course, we know the relationship between Mark Kariuki and this government and William Ruto and blah, 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 everything. Can you listen to this question that Mark Kariuki was asked, and then we talk about what I want us to talk about?
Bishop, how do we get it to the corners of this country and preach that gospel of this national conversation and get more converts?
Thank you very much, Mark, my namesake. This is a very important conversation, because they told me that the strength and the height of any building is dependent on the foundation. So if the foundation is not right, the building will eventually crack. And this conversation is taking us to our vision. Vision is so important that the scriptures have said that where there is no vision, people perish. So if we don't have a vision as a nation, we will perish. Now, so that we get to our foundation, what do we need to do, or what is our foundation? You will agree with me that many people don't know how to think beyond their lifetime. We just think about this moment when we are here. So even when we are talking about vision 2060, 63, or beyond 2030, we are thinking about ourselves. That tells us we need to know whom do we need to speak to. And the people we need to speak to is to go down to our children, those who will be who will be alive at that time, so that we don't ignore our youth. We go back to school, we go back to the children and ask them, how would you want to see Kenya? Or where do you see yourself? One day, if I may say this, I call children in front before they go to Sunday school, and I ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Small kids. Everyone was doing, teacher, 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 teacher. You doctor, you teacher, you engineer, you politician, you president, you. None of them told me, let me go and ask my mother, or let me go and ask my father. Why? Because they have a vision, they have a dream. And we need to go back. So if we need to, where we need to invest is in our schools. So we teach our children, number one, how to be patriotic. One of the problems we have in our nation today is that we are so negative. So negative. We never see anything good. And until and unless we go down to the children and we teach them how to be patriotic, and we teach this vision to them so that they can own it. When they own it and they grow up, they become politicians, they will not want to change, to come with their own dreams, because they have a dream they captured from the beginning. When we open up their eyes, they will be able to see beyond what everybody else is seeing. So mine would be that we need to invest in our children and teach them. But we cannot talk about children without talking about teachers. Because the children will receive that which are given by their teachers. So we also need to take teachers seriously and cause them to see that what they are doing is important. There is nobody in here who never passed through a teacher. So we need to consider teachers, and we need to build on teachers so that they can build on the children. Once the children have captured, this young boy here, 7-year-old, he has a vision, he has a dream. Now, if we get all our children to have dreams and to see what the nation, what a nation they would like to look to see when they are old, they will capture it, they will run with it, and we will not be disappointed. Thank you very much.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, guys, for your great support. Fellow Kenyans, I would like us to talk about something here that was said by Ida Odinga. I don't know whether she's the one that said it, but I want us to look at it in a perspective that she's the one that said it, because it is not just about as the statement. I want us to look at it because it is something that majority of the people, or most of the people, normally question that how comes this can happen, yet I don't know, I'm the wife, I'm the husband, you know, I'm the brother, I'm the sister, I'm the child, I'm the only daughter, I'm the only son. How comes I don't know, I didn't know that this is what happened, but how comes that this is what my father said or my mother said in my absence? But before we do that, I want you to listen to Faruqi Bet. Really gaslighting and talking negatively about the contribution that the people are doing to support Edwin Sifuna's presidential campaign. Faruqi Bet is saying that the money that people are contributing to Sifuna, Sifuna is using them kulala na milaya hapa Nairobi. I want you to listen to this statement that is coming from Faruqi Bet.
Naomba sana usikuje kuomba raia pesa. Kama huyu mama anaandika watoto yake wapate kazi, alafu watoto yake wanakuja kuomba pesa nyumbani waende naye Nairobi, na hiyo pesa mnachanga wanakula na malaya huko Nairobi. Sasa nyinyi watu hapa yani sasa surely nyinyi watu ya Malava mnafaa kuletewa ama mchukuliwe. Na umeweka hapa kijana mwingine mlifukuza anaitwa Lazaro, mwenye vitina. Kazi yake ni vitina, asubuhi anatusi wa mama, anatusi wa ashindwe ama asishindwe. Ati walikuja hapa last week ati kusema honya asifike Malava. Leo nilisema nitawacha kazi nifike Malava, nionane na hawa mundu kwa mundu. Hao wako wapi sasa? Mimi ni mtu ya maendeleo. Mimi nikikuja hapa Malava naleteanga watu kitu ya kukula. Nilete ama nisilete? Hey. Alafu tena wanaweka wazazi wetu kwa jua hapa kwa stage na makelele mingi. Sasa mimi nilikuwa naongojea wamalize mkutano, watu wajengo bulai. Ai watu bakauka. Watu wanatujakaja pesa. Wacha niwaulize watu ya Malava, mnatuma watoto kuwaletea pesa ama mnatuma watoto wakuja wachukue pesa nyumbani? Huyo ni mtu anaomba uongozi. Anataka kuteremusha maisha ya watu. Jameni, fikirieni, Kenya ni kubwa. Anaomba watu ya Malava hapa. Sangapi atafika Northeastern? Na watu ya Northeastern kwanza watamuuliza wewe ni nani? Na wakati unazunguka kwa village yako, chunga sana. Kuna viti mbili unaomba. Iko kiti ukiomba ni ya nyumbani, na kuna kiti ukiomba ni ya taifa. Kiti ya rais sio mchezo. Unaweza tangaja jamii yako kwa duka yako, lakini reality ikifika, wewe hapo ndipo utajua unaelekeza jamii mahali ambapo haifai. Watu ya Malava, ninyi ni watu wazuri.
Now, there is one thing that I can say with a lot of confidence. Ya kwamba wakati mwingine kwenda shule ni mzuri sana. You see, going to school, there is nothing as good as going to school. There is nothing as good as being educated. Education sometimes can rescue you from a lot of stupidity and can really help you to run from some of the things. Why am I saying that education is very important? Because tell me why this guy would now go to the public, alafu anze kuambia kwamba hiyo pesa ambayo mnatoa mnapea Sifuna, mara anaenda kulala na... Okay, who asked you? Did they tell you that they wanted your money? People that are contributing these, their 50 bob, their 100 shillings, their 200 shillings, their 1,000, your 20, their 20 bob, they are contributing it from their heart. No, in fact, not even Sifuna is forcing them to do. If Sifuna is not even forcing them to do, they're doing it because they love, they want change, and the only person that they're thinking that can bring that change is Edwin Sifuna. So I don't see a point in the reason as to why you guys are supposed now to be creating chaos, to be creating enmity in between, the difference between you guys and Edwin Sifuna. Furthermore, these guys, nimegundua kitu moja now, they can't really do anything without mentioning Edwin Sifuna's name. Hiyo ndio kitu nimekuja nikaona. You see all these politicians right now, hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza kafanya kitu bila kutaja jina ya Sifuna. I don't know why they find it easy, they find it okay mentioning Edwin Sifuna anyhow. Sifuna hata ana shida nao, lakini wao wako na shida kubwa sana kila wakati. Sifuna this, Sifuna, it is just Sifuna this, Sifuna that, Sifuna. For how long will you keep on doing this? Let me just ask that. The second story of the day that I want us to talk about, I think this one is what is building our conversation, is this statement. Rigathi Gachagua talked about it. And I don't know whether this one is ODINGA that is saying it or not, but there is an angle that I want us to look at it in. I don't want us to look at it in the angle or in the perspective that ODINGA, the late Raila Odinga's wife, is the one that have said it, but I want us to talk about it because this is one thing that nimekuja nikagundua that it's really affecting a lot of people, especially after the father has died or the husband has died, and then hapa hii mambo ya will. Unaona hapa kwa will, I think you've watched even movies. You've watched wale watu ambao not just movies. These educative movies about the wills, you know, being read by the court, being read by the family, the how would you call it, family advocate, something like that, family lawyers, things like those. Huwa zinaleta shida sana, mostly at the end, after the demise or after the burial of the, because most of them are normally being read after the burial of the husband or the wife. This is what he said. I don't know when Raila wrote his will to be buried within 72 hours, whether in Kenya or elsewhere. It came to me as a surprise because 72 hours is such a short time. Remember when Rigathi Gachagua said that how comes Raila Odinga is one of the people that really believed in the Luo culture?
But let me give credit where it is due. There is one promise Mr. William Ruto made to the people of Kenya, and he has delivered 100%. Congratulations, Mr. President. Mr. Ruto, you promised to permanently retire the late Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, in Bondo and finish ODM. You have succeeded in both. Odinga is permanently retired in Bondo and ODM is no more. There are many prominent deaths that have occurred in Kenya and they have not been resolved. Kenyans want to know what happened to Raila Odinga. Why were the medical doctors of the late Prime Minister denied access to him at the last hours? Why did he have doctors from Nairobi West Hospital, a hospital closely associated with William Ruto, than his own doctors? Why were the instructions of Raila's doctor ignored that Raila shouldn't travel? Raila Odinga was a respecter of Luo traditions and custom. How could a person, known respecter of Luo traditions and customs, indicate that he should be buried in 72 hours against all known Luo traditions and customs? Was William Ruto anywhere an executor of Raila Odinga's will? Why was there no postmortem done on the body of Raila Odinga? Why was he forced to go to India through a private jet? Why did the president force Raila Odinga to go to India? Why was his party ODM taken over before his body arrived in the country, despite the known African customs that you don't inherit a man or a woman, for that matter, before they are buried? Who are these doctors who accompanied Raila Odinga against the wishes of his personal doctor, Professor David Oluoch-Oluonya? These are hard questions that Kenyans want to.
And of course, you and I knows very well, for those who are Luos, you know very well the culture of the Luo. that when a man dies, when a person dies, especially mtu mkubwa kama huyo, that person is supposed to be buried very fast like that, not unless otherwise. But it takes time. 1 week. Kuna wale watu ambao wanachukua 1 week. Kuna wale watu ambao wanachukua 2 weeks. Some even go as far as 1 month. By the way, it happens. But I think kwanga wengine wanaangalia hivi, naona kwamba wale watu ambao wenye watu ukaa sana, wale watu ukaa sana ni wale watu ambao wanahitaji kuchangia, wanahitaji mchango ya familia, wanataka mchango kwamba tuchangie huyu, tuchangie mambo na sanduku, chakula, nini, everything. But in real sense, wale watu ambao they have everything, they don't always see the need of staying that long, even the morgue. Ni ile mtu amekufa, siku 2 siku 3 amezikwa. Mtu anaweza kufa, I think most ni kwa wiki moja. Mtu amekufa alafu wiki moja amezikwa. So people are normally being surprised. People are surprised with these 72 hours. Hata ile General Rogola, people are surprised. But it should not come as a surprise. But that on aside, the reason as to why I think majority of the family members are normally surprised with the will that the families are normally given after the burial is because when I write a will, this is it. When I write a will as a husband, I don't need to share with my wife what I've written, because that is why it's called a will. It should be a secret. It should be a secret until I'm buried or I die. Why? Because suppose I write this thing and my wife sees it and she's not into it, ya kwamba aone ya kwamba inampendeza, she can deliberately alter with the will. So for this thing to be a secret, that is why it's normally written by a family lawyer and the person involved. There is always no third party involved. When I talk about third party, I talk about anybody that is coming from within the family. Actually, inakuwaga tu huyo mtu na lawyer only. Wanaendaga tu secretly two people. And inakuwaga ile lawyer ambaye huyo mtu ameamini sana. So this issue of questioning, oh mara this, why, no, it should stop. Don't ask kwa nini mimi sikuambiwa wakati wili iliandikwa, I never knew, I was not aware, I cannot accept that. You have to accept because it was written. Iko na signature, date, time, and yeah. Wakisema kwamba wewe utaenda utachukua ile TXL. Wewe kama bibi, kama bwana aliandika kwamba wewe utachukua TXL, msichana wako atachukua Land Cruiser, kijana wako mkubwa atachukua Lexus, it will be like that. Kama kuna shamba mahali umesema kwamba kijana wako ndiye atachukua hiyo shamba, kuna ploti mahali umesema msichana wako atachukua, kuna kampuni nyingine mahali umesema hiyo kampuni ndio itakuwa yako. That is how it is going to be. So kama wewe unataka ploti na unataka kampuni, that is up to you. But according to the will says that this what is yours. Na wengine wana end up, some women end up, by the way, mikono tupu. They end up now depending on the children, especially those women that always mistreated their husbands while they were alive, while the husband had money or had wealth. Wanakuja kujikuta at the end. So that is why I can say this, that any moment you're living with your husband as a wife, any moment you are with your family, try as much as you can to be good to that husband. Because one day, one time, you'll regret, and you'll know the importance of taking care of your husband. Anyway, I really don't know what you think concerning this. I say that I don't want us to look at it in the perspective of Ida Odinga is the one that said it. I want us to look at it like this is one of the things that normally affects a lot of families. This is something that is normally affecting people crossover. It did not affect only Odinga's family. Furthermore, Odinga's family had no problem with burying Raila in 72 hours because they had everything. You get it? Walikuwa na pesa, and then the funeral was being sponsored by the state. So they had nothing to waste time on. They really had nothing. Raila angesema kwamba let me be buried after 48 hours. Hata bado wangekubali. Ama maybe after one month, still wangekubali because it is the will. So this issue of will, this and that, it should not be a story. The main thing is, as a wife, always make sure that you are in good terms with your husband. You live well with your husband, take care of your husband, do everything possible to make sure that your husband is always okay. and is always fine. Anyway, fellow Kenyans, that is just my opinion and that is my thought. Let me also know what you think in the comment section. Please don't forget to tell me where you're watching this video from and how these videos are reaching you. Until we meet again, I have been your host, Boniface. Bingo.